being born in Mexico, it's just hard. You just poor, you grow up poor, and you died poor. We all have dreams, and I was one of them, you know what I mean? I was like, I want to go out there and try to do something for my life. First of all, I came when I was 17 or 18 years old, and I came illegally, but before that I tried to fix my status in Mexico. So I applied for a visa and they denied it, but they charged me though, So they're like, okay, well, you got denied, and my dream was to be in America, So I just came illegally across the border, being in that situation where you have to walk like too many days with no food, no water, nothing, you know what I mean? It's just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk, rest a bit and walk, you know what I mean? It's just insane. When I made it, I was just amazed how this country is. And I decided to have a life here, Then I just find a job and start living here in America. And 3 years later, I found my wife, and we just got married. 3 years or 2 years after that, we got married. We applied for, to get, my situation fixed. We chose a paralegal over an immigration attorney because we don't know any better. She told us that, we have to lie over our situation. That was the biggest mistake, you know what I mean, to go through that. Before we found Jesse, we called a couple attorneys, and we, explained our case, or my case actually. They said they were saying that my case was complicated, so they were not gonna be successful on my case, so they just kind of like let go. I blocked everything, honestly. I let go everything. I was like, you know what? This is my life. This is what it's gonna be from now on. I think I'm gonna die here, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm gonna be able to go to Mexico, you know what I mean, ever. My biggest fear was like to leave my kids here, you know what I mean? And the other one was that my mom passed away and not be able to be there for her, you know what I mean? So it's rough. One day, my mother-in-law was at home with us, and she's like, so what's the situation? At that point, we already have Jesse's information. So she asked me, she's like, so what's the situation with your case, And I was like, no, don't even go there. I don't want to move anything. I just, I don't want to get deported. It's just, that's it. I know it's not going to work.
What I remember with Saul is that he came in with a little bit of trepidation. So he'd had an experience with not only other attorneys, but years of being denied and years of going through the process without having success. So knowing that, you're always sensitive to those issues when they come in, and he came in with that kind of attitude that he didn't think anything was going to happen.
Since day one, Jesse's team, make us feel great, and it seems like he don't waste no time, you know what I mean? He goes to the point.
He had a penalty, and basically his penalty was that he had come to the United States with a visa legally, but had overstayed that for I don't remember how much period of time, and then returned and come back legally again. But when you do that, that incurs a 10-year penalty, and you have to get that waived. And the only way to get that forgiven is through a U.S. citizen spouse or parent, or a lawful permanent resident spouse or parent. So you have to do a huge waiver. It's hundreds of pages long usually. The waiver is called an I-601 waiver. We did it fast, and it was sitting on an officer's desk for more than a year. And so that's why we contacted Senator Kelly's office, because we had done inquiries and complaints and it hadn't moved. And so we needed that, at least a decision to be made, whether it was good or bad. It needed to be done, because that processing time should have taken months. Instead, it was taking years.
USCIS was 8 months out of processing times in processing the waiver. And usually when they're behind, we call about 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. We weren't receiving any response. So I reached out to Mark Kelly's office and explained the situation, that this had been 8 months now out of normal processing times. We weren't receiving any response from USCIS. They were able to assist us. Once they used their liaison to assist us, we were able to have that waiver approved within 2 months.
When I received that letter from the INS saying that I got accepted, and they accept the waiver that we put in, I was like, okay, well, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm still gonna get deported, you know what I mean? I was talking to my wife, and she was like, no, this is it. And I was like, nah, I cannot be happy. I know I'm gonna get deported somehow, you know what I mean? It's because we try so many times, so many interviews, so many things.
But it was so nice to be able to celebrate with him, especially when we had to get senators' offices involved and delays that were unforeseen for us. We had an officer that literally sat on that application for 2 years. It was on her desk, and she never did anything with it. We sent letters, sent inquiries, and I don't know why it wasn't a priority, but until we got higher levels, involved, she wouldn't move on it. And that's tough for clients, because they've paid the money to be able to see some kind of outcome on their case. But unfortunately, there's a lot. I wouldn't say that was the majority of cases, but there are a significant minority of cases that get stuck in just an abyss, that if you don't have somebody fighting for that to continue to go, they'll disappear. So we chose his case as one that we elevated, and I think within weeks or within a few months after that correspondence, I think they put a little heat on the department to make a decision, whether it be good or bad, but to make a decision, and ultimately that decision was an approval. Once that approval came, that was it. He got a green card issued within a week, and it was fast. He was here in my office giving me hugs, and we were celebrating, and he had booked a trip already to go see his mom that he hadn't seen in 30 years to Mexico, and yeah, so that's that whole story as I remember it.
And I'm still like, really? Is really that happening to me? We are leaving on the 22nd to Mexico. So next week, you know what I mean, on a Friday. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to come back all the way, or I don't know if I'm gonna have to. I don't know, but that's what it is. I'm here because Jesse, it's been here for me since day one. I get many calls from them saying, giving me updates on things, and that really, that it makes me feel like good about it. You know what I mean? Because it feels like they care for their clients. And they just call us and say, we received this, we sent this, we're still, waiting on this, and it's just an amazing office. Jesse's team is just being here for us, and that's why I'm here for them.